The thing is happening so quickly. If you don't get out within a few seconds, you're dead. You can see your hands burning in front of you. The life's just going out of you.
You know, you're in the shop up there. You're selling stuff over the counter.
Death.
And God help the poor sod who bought it.
They say the temperature goes from about 5 degrees centigrade to 350 centigrade, which is a fairly hot cooking oven, in about 7 seconds. So you can see the temperature change. It's as if someone just put an enormous blowtorch at you.
RAF aircrew who are members of the Guinea Pig Club. Their story tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock. All part and parcel of a Wednesday evening. From ATV that looks like this, the Dick Emery Comedy Hour and the Guinea Pig Club. Then after the news, your midweek film with Warren Mitchell in the comedy All the Way Up. Tomorrow evening, Wednesday evening, from ATV.
There now follows a European election broadcast by the Conservative Party. It is also being shown by the BBC.
This is an island, the largest in a group of islands. These islands are not off the coast of America, Africa, or Australia. They are at the closest point, just 21 miles off the coast of Europe.
These are the British Isles, our home. They are not big in a world of great powers, like the United States or the Soviet Union or China. They are tiny. In fact, less than 60 million people live here. Yet, as part of the European community of 260 million people, they are part of the largest trading bloc in the world. Our future lies with Europe. We are part of it by geography, by history and culture, by civilization and trade. So it's vital that Britain should have a say in the future of Europe if our community is to develop in the way we believe it should. We can have that say. We will be able to go to the polls in the largest election the world has ever seen. And it's very important for our future, because the decisions taken by the community affect our economy. They affect prices, our industry and agriculture, and all the jobs that go with them. Conservatives have always believed that the European community presents our country with a great opportunity. But it's up to us to take it. Many British businesses have. Yet the country as a whole doesn't seem to have made the most of the opportunity. Why is that? Chiefly because of 5 years of Labour government.
Labour's policies towards Europe have been like a seesaw. Sometimes up, sometimes down. Sometimes trying even to do the impossible, be up and down at the same time. From 1961 to 1966, they were opposed to the community. From 1967 to 1971, they were for it. From 1971 to 1974, they were against it. Since 1974 to today, Labour have been bitterly divided. Some for, some against. Over half the Labour candidates standing for election on Thursday don't even believe we should be in Europe. Only a Labour candidate could stand for a parliament he didn't believe in.
Labour's attitude towards Europe has brought us problems. Let me give you just one example. In 1975, Mr. Wedgwood Benn, the then Energy Minister, avoided an important community conference to attend a minor Labour Party function. He said at the time,
"Through me, the energy policy of the whole common market is being held up. Without opening old wounds, it pleases me no end."
What an attitude! Yet, it's how Labour have been behaving in Europe, a series of Labour ministers crowing over their successors in holding up the very meetings that might help us. The only country to suffer from Labour's destructive attitude has been Britain. Now think about yourself. How much would you be prepared to do for someone who kept being rude and destructive towards you?
We all know Britain hasn't done very well over the last 5 years. Can we blame the common market? Let's look at the facts. First, food prices. Over the last 5 years, our food prices have more than doubled. Labour would like to blame this on the Common Agricultural Policy. It's true that this policy did put up our food prices, but for every pound that your food bill has gone up, only 10p is due to the Common Agricultural Policy. 90p is due to inflation under the Labour government. Now, everyone agrees that Britain is paying too much towards the community budget. But who renegotiated the terms of the payments? It was Jim Callaghan, leading a Labour delegation. This was the famous renegotiation that they made such a fuss about. So Labour agreed the terms, and Labour were also responsible for 5 years of poor economic performance. Labour, instead of making the most of Europe, has been making the least of it. Then there's the question of wages. You know how you've been doing over the last 5 years. Your wages have gone up, but prices have roared up with them. Yet look at our partners.
Since 1974, the average French worker has seen his wages, in terms of what they would buy, go up by 60%. In Germany, the average worker saw his real wages go up by over 92%. The average Italian worker saw his real wages go up by over 47%. Meanwhile, in Britain, the average industrial worker has seen the smallest increase in his wages, in terms of what they would buy, an increase of only 16%.
No, our problem over the last few years hasn't been the common market. It's been something much closer to home than that.
For the last 18 years, the Conservatives have believed that the best hope for Britain lay in membership of a free, democratic Europe, not just for the sake of being better off financially, but also because as part of a strong, free Europe, we will be safer in a hostile world. The community has bound together traditional enemies so that they can never fight each other again. And now even more countries are eager to become members of it. This makes the community one of the strongest blocs in the world, a force for freedom second to none.
There's a new spirit of confidence in the country. We have a new Conservative government in Britain. Together, as a community, we can tackle the problems that will face us all.
Europe has always drawn the British people in a mild sort of way, from the modern holiday abroad right back to the days of the Grand Tour, when Boswell went to gaze at the sights and found himself gazing at the women. He came home as we who came after him have come home, with souvenirs in our pockets and memories of a continent full of foreigners. Well, it's different now. We're all Europeans now. We voted 2-1 in the referendum to become full partners in the community. Well, how do we feel about Europe today? Let's be frank. Since the referendum, the British pulse has stubbornly declined to race. Why is this? There are, I think, two main reasons. First, because before we quite got used to losing an empire we liked, we found that we joined a continent we'd never entirely understood. And secondly, because the recent Labour government has never been other than lukewarm about the European idea. They dipped a tentative toe in the water. They paddled a little, but swim? No, they wouldn't swim. What new enterprise, what high endeavour ever succeeded half-heartedly with a team without vision or purpose? Now, the Conservative Party are not starry-eyed about Europe. There's much to be worked for and much to be changed. To begin with, the cost of membership must be fairly shared. That's absolutely essential. Then we have our interests in farming, fishing, and oil to protect. And we must help our friends to put right the things that have gone wrong, like the mountains of butter and the lakes of wine. But the great difference between us and Labour is that we shall work as friends, genuine friends and partners, anxious to build and strengthen the community, not like many Labour candidates, as a Trojan horse secretly moving to destroy it. Let's look beyond the village green, as we always have done. The European community isn't just about the type of hop to be used in beer, or whether cane or beet sugar makes the best sugar. It's about those things, yes. But over and above them all, it's about peace. Peace between nations that have made war on each other for centuries and have at last joined hands. This is a great new international adventure. That's why we asked you to elect a Conservative team for Europe on Thursday, to work with the Conservative government here in Westminster. We've made a fresh start in Britain. Let's make a fresh start in a free Europe.
Don't just hope for a better deal for Britain in Europe. Vote for one.
That was a European election broadcast by the Conservative Party.
What makes the Citroën G Special unlike any other family car in the world? It's not the load-swallowing boot, not the luxurious cloth-covered seats, child-proof locks, nor inertia real seat belts, not the top speed of over 90 miles an hour, not the all-round power disc brakes, nor its miserly fuel consumption. Surprisingly, it's not even the extraordinary low price, just over £3,000. What makes the Citroën G Special unique is a suspension that reacts to a high-speed blowout, as if nothing had happened. The unique Citroën G Special.
For millions of years, nature has had the perfect fly trap. Today, there are Mafu fly traps, like the spray that not only kills in the air, but on any surface, leaves a deadly trap for up to 5 days. Mafu, deadly fly traps in strip, spray, or block. There's no escaping them.
They're always very, very helpful. I'm very satisfied with the cleaning, and they're so quick.
Free cleaning at Harris. Bring any 3 garments, pay only for 2. That's another great free cleaning offer at all Harris shops now.
Very quick, you know, and just very good.
Caroline Bradley. She's been called the world's best horsewoman. She can make a horse jump higher than a man's height, and further than the length of a Rolls Royce. She knows a bit about being best. And at breakfast time, Caroline won't have second best either. She spreads Blue Band margarine because its lightness and delicacy pleases her taste for the best. Blue Band is made only from natural ingredients for people with a taste for the best.
A 3-minute long-distance cheap rate call still costs less than 10p when dialed direct on your own phone. A 3-minute long-distance cheap rate call still costs less than 10p when dialed direct on your own phone.
It was a slack time of day in Ryland when in comes the law. My, but he's big and handsome, and he orders a double deluxe burger, and he says, "I'd like to relish it with that new mustard ketchup, ma'am." And I say, "You mean Coleman's Cool, the new mild mustard that don't come on strong, you know? Coleman's Cool kind of reminds me of him. It's big, but it ain't mean."
Coleman's Cool. It's big, but it ain't mean.
Here, Schubert! What? Coming down the beer cellar? I haven't finished my symphony. Come on! A little Cronenberg will loosen your cord. Now you slugs are right, no?
Cronenberg Lager. It's given Europe more pleasure than almost anything.
Here, Schubert, what about your unfinished symphony?
What about my unfinished Cronenberg, huh?
Well, just a quick reminder that our new series Camera begins at 10:40 tonight from ATV with Gus MacDonald, and there's another new series on Friday when the Krypton Factor, even bigger, even tougher, returns at 7 o'clock.